It requires some strategies that we plan to share with you as often as possible. Okay, with that said, we are going to talk about trade shows and bazaars, and we are going actually to use these two words, as if it was just one type of event. Of course, there are differences and sizes and things that you get and you don't get, but all you're going to do is really adapt to your reality. So if you're doing bazaars like Christmas bazaars and small scale, totally okay, because everything actually can be, used. You can have a lot of success with this. I think it's always a great thing to do it. It's a great exercise, if for nothing, because you train yourself more and more on how to talk to people, how to approach people. You break some barriers. Sometimes maybe you were very, very shy, so you break that. So the least you get out of it is a good exercise and a nice day that you spend with other people. What is usually the bad side of going to bazaars and participating in bazaars and trade shows?
The bad side, Shamar? Like bad things that happen at trade shows? Well, the one thing that I've noticed the most many times is that they'll tell you that it's going to be hundreds of people there. It's going to be this huge event, and then all you see are the exhibitors.
And the crickets.
Yeah, just crickets. Is that what you're thinking about? That's one of those things.
Yes, and it happens, right?
Because all the time,
you rely that they know how to promote and how to market the event.
But they don't. They don't do.
So what do? We are going to talk about that. The other thing is, maybe you're doing a lot of bazaars, right? But you're not getting members. It's just, I heard that more than once. Oh, you don't get members at bazaars.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, we were in one not a long time ago.
Yes, maybe a month ago, a couple months ago.
And, we did enroll some people, and we had some friends. Actually, in that bazaar alone, I think we had 3 or 4 booths with doTERRA, different teams and everything. And so we went to say goodbye to one of them, and we were not in the best spot in that bazaar. Let's just say that.
Well, listen, we weren't exactly in a good spot, so it was kind of a bad location where we were hidden away, like tucked away back in the back.
Yeah.
And there were 2 or 3 other doTERRA wellness advocates at the show
in the main floor.
That people would walk through before they got to us.
Yeah. And then we went to say goodbye to this lady, and she said, "Oh, how was it?" And we said, "Oh, it was amazing." And she said, "Did you sell something?" And we said, "No, we were just marketing memberships, right? But you didn't enroll anybody. You invited them to classes, right?" And we said, "No, actually, we had 4 or 5 people enrolling." And she was like,
and she brought some oils to sell retail, but beyond that, she brought some stuff that she made, like salts, bath salts, and things like that.
So you can get members, and we are going to cover that. And you may think, oh, it's a waste of time. Again, it's not a waste of time, because the least you're going to get is exercise yourself in talking to people you don't know.
Yes.
The right kind of approach, the right kind. Language is extremely important, and we don't tend to pay a lot of attention to that. We just what comes into our mind, but it's the unconscious mind that makes decisions to buy, to stay away from your booth, to they go around like this sometimes. You have depending on the language that you're using, you can change that reality. So it's very important for you to really think about the words you use, how you use them, how your voice comes out when you say. We talked about this before. When people start trying to get somebody to enroll, the voice shakes. They lower the voice. They change the tone totally.
And that's not necessarily conscious, right? So they're a little nervous and their body reacts a little bit differently, but people, they tap onto that energy.
On an unconscious level, but they
unconsciously,
Yeah. Now, the good things that you get out of trade shows, of course, you are tapping, and I think that's one of the main things, you are tapping into other people's networks, right? So let's suppose you have a store in your town and they are going to do this bazaar and invite a lot of vendors and stuff. Well, you won't be talking the whole day with people that you wouldn't have a way of meeting in any other means, right? So it's a great way to tap. It doesn't matter how many people you know in a town. You always, at some point, you catch that. Of course, that's kind of true. because most of us, we really don't make a list and go through that list. And even if we did the right way, you would probably go to half of that list and already have a nice size organization. But anyway, you may think that you're already capped the amount of people that you know. So the trade show and bazaar opens you to other networks. So that's a great thing. And if you know what you're doing, and after today you are going to be knowing everything on how to capture as much information from these people as possible, you can keep doing follow-up ones that didn't enroll. The other thing, like I said, you practice. So you should have your 30-second commercial. Because one of the issues when people ask you what do you do is that you take too long to explain, or it's just this abstract thing that they really don't get what you do. You need to practice in less than 30 seconds to not only tell them what they do, but tell in a way that reaches them on an emotional level. Something concerning their values or their beliefs. So it's very important. And on a trade show, you can do that, because what happens? You have that flow of people passing by, and you start trying for them to approach, and nothing happens, right? Until you find the right phrase, the right sequence of words that will bring them to you and keep them engaged with you. So you get to practice that, and then you transport that to other situations, right? Where you're inviting people to classes and things like that. So it's very healthy. The other thing is you get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, because we tend to be very comfortable on how we are. Yes. And we start waiting for things to happen.
I'll tell you one thing, Shahar, it's called comfort zone for a reason.
Yes. So in a trade show or a bazaar, you have to get out of the comfort zone. Some people don't.
Well, it's tough. Sometimes it's a stretch.
We go to a lot of trade shows as speakers, so we go to Vegas all the time. We go to Atlanta. And how many times? And you go to trade shows where a booth costs like $10,000.
Super expensive.
It's super $10,000. Sometimes it's a small booth, right? But then you get there, and what do you see?
You see people, well, number one, you see like an empty booth with just a little sign. You see many things. One of them is just like the little sign that the trade show gives you, just so that you know which one is your booth.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. You see someone with their phone or their tablet just sitting there.
You see that a lot.
You see people reading the newspaper.
Out there in the back of the booth, right?
Yeah.
So you
see people making everything to avoid eye contact.
Yeah, that's true too. So you think they spend really thousands of dollars in many situations to waste it, to put it in the trash, because they don't want to get out of their comfort zone, so they find a book, a tablet, a phablet, a phone, whatever they can find to really stay away. And in their minds is, oh, if people want something, they're going to come and talk to me. That's a bad idea. That you don't leave your destiny on other people's hands. You take charge of that. The same way that you tell people to take charge over their health and start using alternative solutions for that, the same kind of attitude you need to have when you are in these spaces. So you don't sit down and just wait for somebody to talk to you, and then you complain to everybody that the show is not good, they don't have enough people, or whatever. You're not doing your share, and that's quite common.
Quite common.
Yes.
Shahar, before we move on, I want to say a couple things.
Sure, go.
Because I noticed like an influx of people just joined us. Okay. So welcome everyone, we're so excited. For those of you who missed, there's a chat box below the video where you can type your questions, comments, night remarks, anything. Interact with us. We want to feel like we're just not talking by ourselves.
Yes.
Because we do a lot of that already.
Yeah, we don't.
Yes.
Do that. Okay.
Also, Shahar, make sure that you speak up, that we speak up, because they landscape people.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
Bad timing for us.
But they're almost done. Also, one more thing. Make sure you join the Facebook group if you haven't already.
What's the name of that group?
Oil Business Mastery. Just search for it, ask to join, and we'll add you right away. There's a link to it right above the chat box as well.
Yeah, we are sorry about this, but we didn't know.
Should be done soon.
I hope so. They don't take the whole day doing this. Okay, but so just in a nutshell, we said we are mother and daughter, we are doctors, we are wellness advocates, we are doing this 80% of the time.
I would say more, even like 90% of the time.
Yeah, but pretty much. And we actually are going to trade shows and bazaars all the time, because it's very similar in the way you organize.
Yes, and actually, Shahar, I think it would be valuable for us to know the people that are watching us now. Have you done trade shows and bazaars? Like, what have you done? Let us know in the chat. in the chat box. And if there are specific questions that you already know you have, type them in, because then we can make sure that we'll address all of them.
Yes.
But I want to know if you've done shows before and what your experience has been.
You know, I would also like to know your frustrations. What happened that left you really, with a bad taste in your mouth about that? Okay, because it happens. Right?
Yes,
it happened to us too.
happens.
And there are some situations that even though you may have all the toolbox that you're going to acquire today, it still is kind of frustrating, because we went to one, I think 2 weeks ago. Actually, and how many people did walk in? So they had, it was not big.
Which one are you thinking about?
It was one that, I'm not going to say which one I'm thinking about.
Well, give me a hint.
We were there for the whole day here in town. It was an event where people were supposed to come, and they had several vendors, and they had about 12 vendors, so it was a small one. During the whole day, I think 10 people, 10, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people.
How many people?
10.
10.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
1, 0.
10.
10 people walked into the door the whole day.
Walked through
hours
the door.
and hours. So that was frustrating. And why? Because you do expect that when people put bazaars together, or events, or blood drives, or whatever is the situation, that they do market that. It's expected of them. But here's what happens quite often. They expect you, which I have nothing against it. We are going to talk more about that. But just think about this. If I'm going to market really hard another event to bring my own people there, I might as well market to bring them to a class.
Market my own
So
class,
yes,
right?
we market, we partner, but we do expect the organizer to have their game
They
in
need
place.
to, yes.
They need to be able to go and, in many cases, spend the money to promote that event. We can help, because of course my people will buy from other people. That's totally okay, but not the majority of effort coming from the vendors. So that's a very good question for you to ask when people are inviting you. It comes the time of the year in the second, like in October, for example, that there are bazaars every single day. So you could spend every single day doing one. But you need to do your diligence and asking them how they are going to promote, blah, 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 blah.
How are they going to promote? Are they simply expecting the people that are attending to promote, the exhibitors to promote?
Are they going to do their share of work?
Exactly, and what are they going to do? There's no problem in asking those things. I mean, it's a business for them, and you're basically buying the booth space, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's actually a pretty hefty investment.
Uh-huh.
And so absolutely ask them so that you know how to prepare even.
Another thing that you can get from trade shows is what? New team members, right?
Yes.
If you're trying to build a pipeline with doTERRA, that should be your main focus.
Sure.
More about that later.
I would like us to go a little bit deeper in that later, because like we mentioned even a little bit earlier today, it's like a lot of people just assume